They say the stones of Leap Castle in Ireland drip with blood that never dries. This fortress is remembered as one of the most haunted houses in Europe. Within its walls lies the bloody chapel, where a brother murdered his own kin at the altar. The echo of that crime still rattles the air, chilling all who enter. Guests report shadows slipping past doorways when no one walks there. The elemental, a shapeless figure stinking of sulfur, prowls its upper halls. Some collapse instantly when it appears, gasping for breath in unseen hands. Historians call this place a stronghold of Gothic horror, its stones soaked in violence. Beneath the blood and fire, deeper whispers linger. The oubliette pit, filled with human remains, swallows hope as well as life. Would you dare to descend into its depths, knowing hundreds never return? Even seasoned investigators admit the castle feels alive, its walls watching. Strange red glow often flickers through the chapel, as if fire still burns. Screams have been heard where only silence should remain. Why does this fortress cling so tightly to its shadow? Perhaps it remembers every betrayal, every prayer unanswered. This is no ordinary haunted ruin, but one of the darkest mystic places in Ireland. And if you stand long enough in its halls, you may hear the final cries of the slaughter. The question is not whether Leap Castle is haunted, but whether it ever ceased to be cursed. Bran Castle in Romania stands high on jagged cliffs, crowned in legend and fear. Tourists know it as Dracula's castle, though truth and myth blur together. Walls feel ancient, holding secrets too heavy for daylight. Legends of Vlad the Impaler, whose cruelty-inspired horror stories cling to its name. Some say the forest around it shifts, leading travelers astray. Inside, cold corridors seem longer than they should be, bending into impossible turns. A horror story takes shape in each shadow where light refuses to linger. Midway through the night, footsteps echo across empty staircases. Is it the restless spirit of Vlad, or something older than him? The castle has been linked to ghost legends far older than vampires. Its dungeons once housed victims who never saw the sun again. Chains still rattle faintly, though they hang untouched. This place has become one of the most feared haunted travel destinations in Europe. Would you explore its depths, knowing your shadow may never leave with you? Scholars call the Dracula myth fiction, yet visitors leave pale and shaken. Perhaps fiction and reality feed one another here. Perhaps Bran Castle is a threshold where horror movies begin to feel real. If you walk its battlements at midnight, you might see eyes gleaming in the forest below. And if you hear wings beat against the window, you may already be too late. Chillingham Castle in England smiles at visitors by day but screams at them by night. It is known as one of the most haunted places in Britain. Its dungeon walls still bear marks of tortured prisoners. Bones have been found buried beneath its stones. Blue Boy is its most famous specter, wailing in terror before fading into silence. Children visiting sometimes cry uncontrollably, sensing his despair. Paranormal activity fills its halls, from ghostly whispers to cold hands tugging at clothing. What makes this place more terrifying is the number of sightings confirmed over centuries. A knight in armor patrols the corridors, vanishing when approached. Others hear footsteps that circle them, though no one stands nearby. Would you dare to stay overnight, knowing so many never sleep soundly here? In the middle of a tour, lights often flicker as if unseen guests arrive. Doors slam without reason, and shadows stretch longer than they should. This castle is not just a monument. It is a graveyard wearing stone walls. Visitors leave with shivers, carrying stories that never fade. Some return home convinced they brought something back with them. Perhaps Chillingham is not a haunted ruin, but a trap for wandering souls. And perhaps one day, it will keep more than memories inside its walls. Edinburgh Castle in Scotland looms over the city like a crown of stone. Yet behind its beauty lies centuries of ghostly encounters. Prisoners once languished in dungeons so dark they carved their names in blood. Some of those marks remain, whispering of agony. Visitors hear drumming at night, though no drummer can be found. This tale of the headless drummer is one of Scotland's most enduring creepy stories. Tourists report sudden drops in temperature, ice cold against their skin. Others hear whispers along the vaults beneath the castle. Would you walk those underground tunnels, knowing they may never end? Phantom dog roams the old cemetery nearby, scratching at stones. Historians admit the castle's dark history feeds its legend. And still, skeptics leave pale when shadows brush against their shoulders. The fortress is more than a landmark. It is one of the most feared supernatural locations in the world. Its beauty hides centuries of despair. Perhaps every stone remembers. Perhaps every scream still lingers. And the wind howls across the battlements. Some say it carries the voices of the lost. If you stand alone at night, will you hear your name whispered back to you? Houska Castle in the Czech Republic hides a secret darker than any dungeon. It was built not to defend, but to cover. Legend says it stands over a gateway to hell itself. Locals avoided the place, calling it forbidden. Prisoners were lowered into the pit as experiments. They emerged broken, babbling of creatures with wings and claws. Some died within days, their minds shattered. The chapel above was built to seal the evil below. But does stone truly hold back what waits in the dark? Visitors today hear growls rising from beneath their feet. Midway through the night, strange lights flicker under the castle floor. Would you kneel in prayer there, knowing hell may answer instead? This is not merely a scary story, but one of Europe's most spine-chilling tales. Some call it a myth, others a warning never to dig too deep. The air feels wrong, as if the earth itself resists. Animals refuse to enter, barking in terror at the gates. Even silence feels alive, pressing heavily against the soul. The pit beneath Houska is truly a doorway. What waits on the other side? And if the door ever opens again, will the world survive its secrets? Dragsholm Castle in Denmark carries the sorrow of the White Lady. She was a noble woman, bricked alive within its walls for forbidden love. Skeleton was discovered centuries later, still in her dress. Now she walks the corridors, her figure glowing pale in the dark. Visitors see her drifting silently, hands clasped in prayer. Others feel her presence in sudden chills across the skin. Dragsholm is more than an inn. It is one of the most enduring ghost legends of Europe. At night, carriages are heard arriving, though the courtyard lies empty. Did you sleep in a room where the White Lady lingers still? Her story is a reminder of cruel fate and eternal grief. Guests often leave with heavy hearts, as though her sorrow clings to them. Some say she is not alone, that other restless spirits roam the hall. Dark horseman is said to patrol the grounds at midnight. The White Lady remains the most sorrowful of them all. She does not frighten, but she warns. Perhaps she waits for her lover, perhaps for justice never given. Dragsholm Castle is more than stone. It is a mausoleum of broken hearts, and if you listen closely in its silence, you may hear the sound of weeping behind the walls.